Okay, so this is a follow-up from my previous tutorial, and we've got a series of rings that will eventually become our lens flare. And what I want you now to do is press Ctrl J or to duplicate that layer, or just drag that layer over here and duplicate layer. And what I want you to do is press Ctrl and T for transform. Sorry, not transform. If you use here the move tool and simply select this option, show transform controls, and using this tab here, what we want to do is just kind of rotate those so we kind of get that lens flare look, and hit return on the keyboard when you're happy. Okay, I'm just going to uncheck that box because it's quite annoying to see those handles come up when you use a move tool. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is select your previous layer, and I'm just going to select the eye icon off the top layer so we know what we're dealing with. And what I'm going to do is, having this layer selected, I'm going to give this 30%, drop this down to 30% so it's kind of really faded out. And then what we want to do is, from our blending options, we want to select overlay, so we've got that kind of color seeping through behind. So if I put that up to 100% just to show you guys, so we've got that kind of color. That's what overlay is doing. It's quite cool. Okay, again we do the same for this one, so I'm going to go to overlay and I'll bump that up to 40%, and you can play around with this. You can do 30 if you want to. I think I'll do 30 as well, so you've got both of those elements going on there. Next thing we want to do is add another layer, and what we're going to do now is, if I bring up my other one just to show you guys, what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of add that nice glow in the center. Okay, so that's quite cool. And what we're going to do is we want to start by adding another layer, which I've already done. And in this layer, what I want you to do is use a marquee tool, hold down the marquee tool, use an elliptical marquee tool, and make sure you've got white selected, holding shift on the keyboard to constrain the object's proportions. And what I'm going to do is just kind of round about there and in the center, and just place that there like so. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to hold down Alt and press delete, and you'll see a nice big white circle. Okay, now what we want to do is, this at the circle is selected, so select your marquee tool and just click off so it's not selected. That's really important, so make sure you do that so it's not selected. Now the next thing we want you to do is go to filter and go to blur. We need to select motion blur. Sorry, not motion blur. We need to go to filter, blur, and we need to go to radial blur, not motion blur. And from this we need to bump the amount to 100%. We need to select a zoom and make sure the quality of best is selected, and press OK. That will be a bit heavier on your processor when you select best, and you'll see that now. And I'll follow this up in my next tutorial. I'll leave that for now.